Hi, welcome to Easy Exposure. The tutorial is about photography. A while ago I did a lesson in which I was telling you about white balance and what white balance stands for and how to correct your white balance inside of your camera using different white balance camera modes. But I promised you that I will make a video about correcting your white balance in post-production. And today I will show you how to correct your white balance in Adobe Lightroom and also in Photoshop, or the program which comes with Photoshop. It's called Adobe Camera Raw. And from the name of this program you probably already realized that it's much more easier to correct your white balance when you're shooting RAW. The RAW files are more flexible. So if you want to correct your white balance better, shoot RAW. And the way how you're going to correct your white balance, you will be using 18% gray card. Something like this, and I will give you different options. There is a lot of different gray cards on the market you can purchase. I just show you the ones I have. And this one is probably the simplest one and the cheapest one. You can buy it probably in every camera store. It was like maybe $5. And it's just a cardboard gray card. The advantage of this card is that it's nice and big. And disadvantage of this card is nice and big because if you want to carry it around, it's better to have something smaller. Also another disadvantage that because it's just a cardboard, it gets dirty and wears out faster. And it might not be that accurate later on, and you can't really wash it because it's a cardboard. Another option is, I think I got this one from Amazon. I mean, there is a lot of different companies who make it. The one I have is this one, Zycos. And it was pretty cheap too. It was like around $10, $12. And you have a gray card, white and black. You can also use white and black. It's just the shades of gray. For example, you can use them for correction with a curve in Photoshop. But today we're mainly going to talk about gray card. And it's nice because it's small. You can carry it easier around, even around your neck, and it's like a little credit card size. And because it's made of plastic, it does get dirty, but you can easily wash it because it's made of plastic. And another option, probably the most expensive one, I think it's like around $100, and it's called Color Checker Passport. And I think this one pretty much a lot of photographers have, a lot of professionals have, and it comes also with software. And it's not only gray card, there is so much more things you can do with it. And you have like gray card right here, and then you have a whole bunch of different swatches right here, and middle gray is this square, and this one is also good for color correction. But there is so much more you can do with it. You can build your custom camera profile. These swatches are for correcting skin tones. You can warm them up or cool them down, also for landscapes, checking your exposure. We're not going to talk too much about this one today, but maybe we will make a separate video about this one. But this is one of the options of the gray card you can use. And it's nice because you can keep it easily clean because it's closed. It comes like in a little passport. So the way how you do your color corrections, when you're shooting something in certain lighting conditions, you put your gray card in your frame, in the first frame, and you take a picture with it. And then you take it away and shoot your other pictures after that. Then you bring it to Lightroom and you color correct the picture which has a gray card in it. And then you apply these corrections to all other pictures. So today I will show you how exactly to do it. And just for fun, just to show you the difference between all these gray cards, I included all three of them in my frame. And we will try to correct with each of them and see if there is any difference. So let's get started. Let's go into Lightroom and I will show you how to do it. As you can see, I imported the images I took with gray cards into the Lightroom, and I included all 3 color correction cards into the image. Our Kodak gray cards, our another gray card, and our x-rite color checker passport. Because I want to show you the difference between them, or no difference between them, that you can correct with any of them. And I hope you notice that our image has clearly blue color cast, because this is supposed to be white, and as you can see there is a blue tint right here. Blue color cast right here. The temperature is kind of cool, so we have to warm up our image, and the easiest way to correct it is to use the color picker. And we have to be in develop module, and we will choose our color picker right here. And as soon as we choose our color pickers, we will have these options underneath. And auto dismiss means that we can click in the image only once, and then our color picker will disappear. So let's try it. See, we click and our color of course changed, but our color picker disappeared. So if we want to click in the image again, we have to choose the picker again. But let's go back. If we uncheck auto dismiss, it means we can click in the image a few times without color picker to disappear. So let's go back. So we will leave our auto dismiss unchecked for now. Also, there is another option which is called show loop or not show loop when we uncheck it. When we uncheck it, as you see, when we move around the image, nothing happens. But when we check it, we can see the magnification of the area where we about to click with our color picker. When we hover, we can see the area with magnification. Also, we can change scale of it right here. See? And as we hover through this card, you can see that this card is kind of smooth and the tones are even. This one as well. By the way, this cube is a middle gray on the color checker passport. Also, this second square from the left is also a good one for a lot of cameras. But when we hover over this one, the color is not that smooth, but maybe it's not a big deal. So for our first image, let's try to click on this card. Also, I would like you to pay attention to the numbers which are underneath our target. Let me get a close-up of it. So do you see those numbers which is with letter R, G, and B, and they in percentage? And those are RGB colors. And R stands for red, G stands for green, and B stands for blue. And under the normal conditions, if you have a good color balanced picture, the neutrals like neutral, middle, gray should have the same amount, the same percentage of each of these colors, the same percentage of red, green, and blue. As you can see at the moment, obviously blue is the most dominant color because we have only 18.5% of red, 27 of green, and 38 of blue. So it means we have the most of blue in the picture. As I already said, this picture definitely has a blue color cast. So let's see what happens with the numbers when we click on the middle gray with our color picker. Voila! Of course, our tones in the image changed. It became more warmer, and our whites became whites. But before we go and look at the big picture, let's look at the numbers. When we hover over middle gray, red, green, and blue are 27%. This way we know that our image is color balanced well. So we are back to the big screen, big picture. As you can see, after we chose the middle gray with our color picker, the picture in general looks much better. The white is white and all colors brighten up, and bananas actually look more appetizing than apples now, because before they totally didn't look that way. But let's try to do the same with our other copies, but then we will use a different target. So in this picture we will use our color checker. And there is actually two places you can click which can give you a good result. It's either the middle gray right here, which is 1, 2, 3, third from the right, or the second light gray from the left. But let's click on middle gray. And bam! We got the good results again, and as you can see, our RGB colors are even again, and even if we look all around, our RGB colors will be even. And then the third image, and once again click on this one, the big Kodak gray card, and it's also color corrected our image. So let's compare three of them to each other. Let's just look at them together. And we can go to library module. As you can see, they're pretty similar to each other. The only difference I see is that this one has still a little bit more green in it, like when you look here in the whites. But in general, they did pretty good job, all of those gray cards. Let's see if I was right about the green color cast. We go back to develop module, and here on the left, on the right, we can see the temperature and tint values. And let's look at those for every image up close. And I just want to show you how these sliders influence the image. The first slider is a color temperature. So it's when we go towards the blue, it means the image becomes bluer and colder. And if we go direction of yellow, it means that image gets warmer. And the number is changing. The number is smaller when we go towards the blue. See how number is changing, our image becomes bluer. And when we go towards the yellow, the number becomes bigger and our image becomes warmer and yellower. Alright, and here we have tint. When we go this direction and the number goes towards minus, it means our image becomes greener. And when the number goes towards plus, our image becomes more magenta. So let's color correct this image again. And let's look. Let's see. It also all depends where exactly in the card you click. Your numbers might a little bit change. See how this number is changing? Because the light maybe is not falling quite even on the card, but it's pretty much very close to each other. And when we look at the numbers for this image, we have plus 11, so it's closer to magenta. When we look at the second image, we have plus 9, so it's a little bit less magenta than in the first image. and this image was corrected with a color checker. And the third image, has +4, so it has less magenta and more green than all others, and this one was corrected with this Kodak gray card. So I was right that the image had a little bit more green than others. And even if you correct your image with a gray card, you can still do some adjustments to these sliders if you're not completely happy with what results you got. Especially for skin tones, sometimes the gray card can give you more cooler skin tones and you want to warm them up, so you can do a micro adjustments with those sliders. So like for example in this image I thought there is still too much green, so I just move my green slider a little bit to the right to remove the rest of the green, and I think now it looks much better. So you always can correct with a gray card, but if you're not absolutely 100% happy, you can still do some adjustments. But usually those cards are pretty accurate with the colors, especially this one, and I think this one is not bad. Probably this one is not the best in my opinion, but it does the job. I think it does pretty good job and gets ours very close. I just think the reason for that is that the texture and I guess the color of the card is not 100% even. Plus my card is pretty old one. Maybe when you buy a new one it's a little bit better. But these ones will last you for a long time, especially this one if you take care of it and you close it every time you use it and don't patch your fingers on it. Like I wouldn't recommend you to touch these swatches with your fingers because you can leave some dirt and oil on the swatches, so the color will not be 100% accurate. Now let me show you how to apply those color corrections we did with the gray card on the images which don't have a gray card in them. Because we took two images, one of them with a gray card and another one without. And this image has no gray card in it. So to apply the corrections we did to this image on the image without gray card, we have to highlight two images in here. We're highlighting these images and then we just click on the sync right here and pop-up menu shows up, and here we can check in the settings which we want to sync. In our case it's a white balance, and then click on synchronize. And as soon as we clicked on synchronize, this image, the white balance was applied on this image as well. And you can do it on multiple images. If you shoot something under the same lighting conditions, you can shoot one image with a gray card and the rest images without, and then you can bring them into Lightroom, color correct the one which had a gray card in it, and then sync the white balance settings to all other images. You just have to highlight all of them at the same time and click on sync. But let's assume that we shot the image and we didn't have a possibility to put the gray card in it. And we have this color balance which is totally out of whack, which is blue like this, but we don't have any images with a gray card. We can do a similar color corrections using the color picker, but we need to find something which is neutral in the image. And the best is something which is white or middle gray. In a lot of situations we can find something white in the image. And we have our auto dismiss unchecked, so we can try to click in different places. I think this might be pretty good, and it got us some good results right there or here. We can keep on clicking until we are happy with our results. I think this is a little bit too warm. I think this is pretty good. And we also can adjust a little bit with the sliders. Just see what we like more. So as you can see, you can also correct without gray card. But the good thing about gray card that it's just there, because in some situations we might not even have anything neutral in the picture, and then we just have to correct it with the sliders just to see with our eyes which direction we have to correct it, just play with it. But you can always try to click around your image and see if you will find some point, some results which you will like. And let's compare those two images, the ones which I corrected with color gray card and without gray card. And as you can see, they're pretty similar. And now I will show you how to do the same in Adobe Camera Raw, which comes with Photoshop. So let's get started on that. The process of color balancing in Photoshop is very similar to the process of color balancing in Lightroom. So if you double click on your raw images, they should automatically open in the program which comes together with Photoshop, and it's called Camera Raw. Camera Raw usually comes with Photoshop package. When you open your image in Camera Raw, and here I open two images, one of them has a gray card in it and another one doesn't have a gray card in it. So I will be color balancing this one first, the same way as I did in Lightroom. Just the controls, the color picker is not here like it is in Lightroom, but it's on the top panel, and it's third tool from the left, and it's called White Balance tool. And we choose the White Balance tool, and we can click on our middle gray card as we did in Lightroom. And here, Camera Raw did the corrections the same way as the Lightroom did. And also we have those temperature and tint sliders right here where we can make some extra adjustments. And if you want to apply those corrections you just did to the image with a gray card, you have to highlight both images and click on Synchronize. And the same way as in Lightroom, you will get a list of things you would like to synchronize. And you can choose from here, from the menu, White Balance, and only White Balance will be checked. Or you can manually check and uncheck every settings right here. But we would like to synchronize White Balance, so we will choose White Balance and click OK. And now this image was color balanced as well. So how easy was that? I hope you could follow along and this lesson was helpful to you and you learned something. You learned how to color correct in post-production by using gray card. And more videos to come. I was so busy lately, sorry I didn't post any videos for a long time, but I will try to stay on it and make some videos more often. So I see you next time.